Hello, hello. This is a 202nd Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2225, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. And today, it's not just you and me.
No, you've brought a guest along.
I brought a guest. Not one that we can interview.
Not this time, no.
No. Shall I explain what it is?
Mm-hmm. Please do. Our listeners cannot see what's going on. So,
So I've brought a shoebill. Mm-hmm. And this is a large bird.
Mm-hmm. A bit like a heron, yeah?
Yeah, a bit like a heron. It's a very large bird, actually. It's
really
about
big.
1 meter 50 high.
Well, there was a Lego model of the Eiffel Tower made of Lego that was also 1.5 meters tall.
It was a pretty big model.
Big model, big bird.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know of a Lego model of the shoebill, but...
I haven't seen one, but if they made one, they could make it life size.
So it's at the moment the shoebill is standing very quietly in the corner of your room.
Being very considerate, yeah.
The way in the other side of the room.
Exactly.
It's, besides it being a very big bird, it's also a pretty grumpy looking bird.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm trying to describe it a little bit. Mm-hmm. So like let's say the bottom third is just legs, straight down.
Yeah.
And the top third is like a dark blue body and a pretty big head. And what's the most impressive part is a massive bill. Mm-hmm. And this looks like a massive shoe, like these big wooden shoes.
Yeah.
And that's, And then it looks quite grumpy and is also stares at us all the time.
Yeah, it's got its eyes on it, or at least one eye on us.
Exactly. Whenever we look at it, it's staring at us.
Yeah.
It's like it's not being distracted by anything. One thing that I was told when this was given into my custody, we shouldn't upset it.
No sudden movements or loud noises or
exactly, because it behaves apparently quite erratically and it makes pretty insane noises.
Okay, which, that's not ideal at any time, but specifically when we're recording an episode, we probably don't want those loud noises.
Exactly, and so far, since I came here, it marched off to the corner and then stayed there. But I've upset it once or twice since it came into my custody, and I can tell you those noises are insane, so we would want to avoid them.
Yep.
Yeah, so... a shoebill. Did I mention why?
No, I know why, but for our listeners, perhaps you explain why shoebill has been put into your custody, as you put it.
So I'll try to make it short. I work at the UFOPL. So United Federation of Planets Organization is the international organization dealing with our alien friends, Martians and Illuminati. And there was a problem on the Martian planet.
That was a few years ago now, yeah?
Last
year, or I lost track?
Yeah, something, I think almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. They had a plague.
Golden frogs got there too. Golden toads? Frogs.
Exactly. Yeah, the golden, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any natural enemies on the Martian planet. So for some reason, the golden toads made it there. I guess we brought them along, or they accidentally brought them along. They multiplied. So we brought in a natural enemy, being the shoebill. So we sent a whole lot of shoebills from Earth there. They took care of the plague. Yeah. And then they...
Very effectively?
Yes.
Caused no other problems to the ecology or the ecosystem?
Not at all.
Very good.
And when they were done, they were just, all huddled together, looking grumpy. Yeah. And then the Martians basically called up and say, "Okay, guys, get these grumpy fellas back." But of course the shoebills have been away from Earth a while, so just to get them climatized, every UFOPL employee got one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And like I say, I knew that. I'm saying, okay, for our listeners' benefit. And indeed, you can't leave your bird alone, at home. So that's why with you now here.
Yeah, especially so we brought them from a strange planet to get them accustomed to Earth again, and then you put them in some empty apartment. That's kind of rude. So
exactly.
I'm basically taking it along wherever. It's just going to be for a couple of weeks. Yeah. So
it's almost like some folk, like they have, take your kid to work day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but with your bird.
Yeah, take your bird to podcasting day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll occasionally wave at it, keep an eye on it. Yeah, but today is not Chubil.
Not today. Today is the Jellypult.
The Jellypult.
That's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, want to tell our listeners what the Jellypult is?
Yeah. It's a very recent modification, I guess, of an old technology. So the Space Catapult, So for our listeners, I think they already know about it even back then. A way of sending into orbit things like satellites and whatever, spin them around real fast, toss them up into the sky. They go fast enough, they get into orbit. Good stuff. And things go so fast in there, like 10,000 G, that kind of speed. No humans can go in that. It's ideal for sending up satellites, robots. It's all good, but not for people. The Jellypult. This is the big thing now. With this special trademarked jelly, people can be sent up in the Jellypult. Yeah.
I think you summarized it pretty well. And I think, like you're saying, the Space Catapult has been around forever.
Yeah.
I guess, with every new decade, it got higher and faster and so on.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. And even since the beginning, people were like, hey, can we go in this? And no. I'm hoping no one actually ever tried, just because they would have known, the speeds involved, the pressure involved, it would have killed people. Until this jelly came along. It didn't come along by chance, yes. Some folk invented it. That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly. They invented this special jelly. That's what makes it possible to throw people up into space. Crazy fast speeds. It all works out fine.
I that's also what I kind of like about this story about the Jellypult, which I thought of when you mentioned let's talk about this on the show, because I know the founding story. It's just two guys with an idea, kind of like us.
Yeah.
They had the idea about the Jellypult. We had the idea about the podcast.
Okay, for a second, that's why at first I was like, it's a bit different, Jelly that lets you send people into space, making a podcast. I thought you were going to say sending things back in time. Which, was I know now our project is the podcast, but initially, first 29 episodes, really we were trying to find a way to send stuff back in time. That was really our focus. We've kind of shifted our focus. Anyway.
Although we accidentally then still send stuff back in time, but yeah.
Indeed. Wow. So they had the goal, well, it wasn't the goal yet, so this is from their own website, yeah, but their story is, what was it? They were sitting out on one of their houses, on the back porch, drinking a beer, eating some jelly, Wackel pudding for our folk here in Germany, Jello, I think they call it in America. Anyway, wibbly wobbly stuff. And one of them dropped his Lego man into it. And that's what gave them the idea.
I knew it was something about sitting on the porch and so on.
But, sitting on a porch drinking a beer, how's that going to give you the idea of putting people in jelly and sending them into space? The key ingredient was the Lego man that the guy had.
So for me, I just have this image in mind, two guys having a beer, chatting, sun is setting, sitting on the porch. It's a nice autumn evening. Too, sure. It might have been in winter or summer, I don't know, but just
mosquitoes buzzing around.
Exactly, but just you make it nicer. And then I didn't even remember the bit, but that makes total sense about
being a fan of Lego. That's why that part especially sticks in my mind. So, okay, they had the idea. Several steps in between.
Yeah.
Now they've done it.
Well, yeah, okay.
It took some time for them to actually develop the jelly, It has a funny name too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know, but that's the one I know. It's called Götterspeise.
That's it.
It's a German word. I don't know if they know that. Because I think they are... I can't remember. Were they Argentinian?
I actually don't remember myself. Danish, maybe, with the Lego? Either way, they chose a German name.
Yes, exactly.
Which means food of the gods, yeah?
Wow, I don't even know. It doesn't really matter either.
Okay.
I don't know. So sure, yeah. No, it means food of the gods. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember where they were from. I had in mind that they were from some equatorial country, which is neither Denmark nor Argentina.
And that would have made much more sense because, to have Space Catapults and now the Jellypult. Having those on the equator is the place that makes most sense, that they can take advantage of the spin of the Earth as well.
Yeah. But either way, you're right, yeah. So it's called Götterspeiser, food of the gods.
Yeah,
it's have you had it?
To eat?
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, sure. If you go there, they have a cafe. You know, if you want to just watch some of the launches and. Hey, wait a sec. Your bird is walking over to us.
Yeah.
Maybe I got too animated. Did I get too excited there, talking about the
it's
food of the gods?
It's now standing right in front of us.
It's a little bit unnerving, but we should be fine.
It's looking at you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa. Whoa! This is Come on. This isn't appropriate. Can you get it? Come on.
So I can. If I do this, then it usually heads off.
Okay.
Come on.
It's going away. Okay, but still, that is a loud noise.
So.
Is it okay?
Yeah. So it's funny. It tapped over here, but it kind of flew back.
Yeah.
So it can fly. I've to be honest, it's the first time I see it fly. Okay. Yeah, it does that. I know. So
comes up to you, makes some loud noises, and flies away.
It looks at you right in the face. So it's kind of like a warning. You know, you have to stop what you're doing, or I'm gonna. But it does this with its beak.
That sound. Yeah. It's a really, really strange sound.
Okay. Whatever. Where were we? Podcast.
Yeah. Time travel jelly.
Jellypult. Götterspeiser.
Yeah.
Yes. Did we explain how it worked?
I don't think so. I mean, no. So the catapult itself is just a catapult. Okay, whatever. So it spins stuff around really, really fast. When it reaches whatever velocity is required for the distance, it gets shot out of the catapult. The jelly, okay. So far, the space catapults were used for sending like satellites or robots up into space, and they're usually always in a shell of some kind, and usually it's a standardized shape, you know, like optimized for passing through the atmosphere, like very streamlined. Okay, and so for sending people into space in this way, basically have that shell on the outside, inside all the jelly, and inside the jelly, the person.
And it's basically, is it, let's say, like classic space travel? You basically step into some sort of capsule. In this case, you kind of jump into the jelly.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, because how do you get into the jelly, or do you get into a case first and then they fill it with liquid
fill the jelly around you? We should try this sometime because I actually don't know the procedure, you know. And I saw a diagram, like a cutaway diagram, you know, showing like the shell and then the jelly layer and then the person in the middle, but it didn't show like the boarding procedure.
You know, the actual food, they make it like that. It's like when you tell your Congo to make baka pudding, jello, whatever they call it in all the languages. You can put a container in there and it comes out of there liquid and then it solidifies.
In the fridge, yeah. But I can't imagine they put people in the fridge, like meaning, you know, cool them down. So maybe it's some other kind of process that solidifies it.
Yeah.
But it would make sense that it gets poured in, you know, or maybe you get in. Makes sense that it would be a liquid, basically, that it could form around you really well.
Makes more sense.
And then that it would set.
Because I was imagining it like this jelly already being there, and then you kind of like jump into it. But this, like, if it starts out liquid and then solidifies, it makes more sense. Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I was talking about just before we got interrupted. You were asking if I tasted it. So I haven't. I mentioned they do have a cafe, you know, where you can taste it if you like. But also, if you're actually traveling in this way, hey, you get to nibble a bit on it while you're in transit.
It does make me a little hungry talking about it.
We can get some. Oh dear. Well, we can get some jelly later. But what's going on?
I have to. Come on. No. Come on.
Okay, that time at least we didn't get the loud clacking sound.
Yes, I'm not sure if it because it knows it's kind of in my custody that it kind of listens to me. It didn't do that in the beginning.
No.
I heard they also offer culinary packages, right, where you get shot into space and then you can eat the jelly while you're traveling, basically.
Yeah. Sure, and it's exactly that. You can choose what flavors. Also, you know how you get some jelly where there'll be like little things floating in the jelly, or suspended, I guess, rather than floating. Within reason, because of course it is there for your safety. But also, you can have little bits floating or suspended in the jelly.
I can imagine you have blueberries in there.
That's good. Yeah. I had this...
or marmalade.
I visited Poland, Warsaw in Poland long ago. There was this jelly. It was savoury.
Ooh.
So like pieces of meat suspended in the jelly.
Whoa.
When I first saw it, I was like, this will be a bit strange, but it was actually really tasty.
Wow. And then, but not real meat, I guess.
Of course. But the taste was real good.
I was thinking half jelly, half peanut butter. Peanut butter jelly capsule.
I think we're stretching it a bit there, because jelly in America is jam, but that's different from Jell-O. Jam is like marmalade.
Okay, maybe that's why they call it Götterspeise, just to make sure that nobody gets their stuff confused. So it's the kind of like the thing that's not liquid, but it
starts out liquid, but then it sets into a gelatinous, wibbly-wobbly form.
Exactly, it wobbles a little bit, right?
Yeah. Jiggles.
Yeah, but it stands up straight. Like if you remove,
if you tipped it out of the case, the mold,
it stays straight up. Yeah. Okay. This starts to really make me hungry. But they were being very creative with their packages, right? Didn't they have kind of like the
culinary ones, like you say, party ones too?
Oh yeah,
yeah. If you so someone's having a party, you want to make a big entrance, whatever the occasion. Birthday, anniversary, whatever. You want to make a big entrance. You get shot up into space. Or, maybe not all the way into space, but you get shot up real high and then come back down. And obviously they work out the angles and whatever. So then you land in the swimming pool of the place where the party is. Big splash. And then, there's jelly everywhere. You're there too.
And then you're basically bobbing up to the surface in your jelly package, waving it.
And then like handing out little bowls with jelly in for everyone.
Wow, I think I've seen this at was it a conference or a rally or something like that, where the speaker arrived
in that way, but I guess not into a swimming pool, but on the stage, or
no, in the canal.
That would work.
Huh.
You kind of need there to be a body of water around, or another big pile of jelly, but that's unlikely. So,
or a big pile of peanut butter.
There you go.
And then
it splatters, and then it's mixed together.
And it's peanut butter and jelly on everything. This sounds great. I wonder how you get it out of your hair after you've landed.
I mean, one way is have short hair, or no hair.
Yes.
Even better. Failing that, I guess some showering.
Yeah, okay. They probably have that,
If teleport it away. That's even easier.
Smart. See, this is the stuff like they figured out how to shoot people in space covered in jelly. And my question is, how do you get it out of your hair afterwards?
Sure, which is an important question.
I mean, it's very practical. Okay, the Jellypult.
The Jellypult.
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess we explained it pretty well.
I think so.
We did get a listener question.
We did, an email,
Yeah.
From Mariana. Shall I read it?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's just part of it anyway, because it was longer. So I just pasted in the question.
Just took out this one question, yeah? Okay, so amongst the other things that thank you, Mariana, for writing to us. Amongst the other things she wrote, she asked, do you have any side effects from time traveling? And are you trying it again?
So
I have had some side effects, because I've done it a bit more than you both before, your visit and since. And I think they might both be related to my cyborg chip not working back in the 21st century. Like, it works again fine now, yeah? But maybe I caught something when I was back there, because I've got this cold going on, which... I've got this cold going on. It's not like really bad. It's just normally I wouldn't have it, yeah? Normally the cyborg chip would deal with it. So I guess it just doesn't know about it. It's taking some time for the definitions to be updated.
I guess that's it, yeah. It's just because the cold is so old, it's not in any of the systems.
Exactly, it must be like some variant. And then
but
the
it's
other
weird.
thing,
It's like I don't think I've ever seen anybody being sick or being ill.
Sure. It's very interesting to experience. Yeah. And then the other thing that's going on, I can show you maybe. So see here on my nails. Normally, cyborg chips, it regulates your hair growth, nail growth, all that kind of stuff. They're uneven. It's so weird, like my nails are not...
I noticed that, but I thought you programmed it like that.
No, because of course you could do it on purpose, but no, I didn't do this on purpose. I usually keep them relatively short, relatively even. And they're kind of all jaggedy, and there's bits which are like rectangular, bits which are round.
I noticed it, but I thought it was on purpose.
Yeah, not on purpose, no. So I think I need to look into that.
Okay. You reckon it has to do with that?
I mean, like I say, I'm thinking it's just the cyborg chip, but maybe it's to do with... which is indirectly to do with the time travel. I guess, sure, that's the point. Maybe Mariana was asking if there were side effects from the actual travelling through time itself. I think no. I think it's fine.
I think maybe with your nails, what I'm thinking is, of course, you've been gone for like 20, 30 minutes a few times.
Yeah.
And then maybe that kind of messes up the time scale, because it's not like you were in a different location. You were not actually anywhere. Right?
As far as the cyborg chip's concerned.
Exactly. Yeah. So you just disappeared. So maybe these irregularities are just because the time scale doesn't match up anymore.
Could be.
Maybe it's kind of like a millennium bug.
Maybe I just need to get some nail clippers, trim them down, start over,
or reboot, or install to factory settings, or
true. Or like to support,
Yeah. But if you install factory settings again, you're going to get your beard back.
Yeah, that's too much. And what was the other thing? The other question? Oh yeah, are we going to try it again? Are we going to? Maybe not anytime soon.
I guess maybe.
I've been doing it like so much.
Yeah.
If we have any good ideas, I think we will.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Like, okay, we've been there, was nice, and check. That's
kind of our approach on this show.
Yes,
we don't tend to revisit things so often.
Yeah, but if there's a very good reason to visit the 21st century,
like an email maybe from.
Exactly.
A guest from last time, or that could work out.
Or some other guest who's saying, "Hey, we have a birthday party. You want to splash the birthday party with
that would be
jelly?"
some timing. That would be some real timing. Yeah, get ourselves into a Jellypult, synchronize it with the low fidelity wave burner, portable teleporter. Need to be really built into it, and then land. Also, get the location stuff sorted out that we land in a swimming pool back in the past.
Yeah. It's not so easy to get from A to B, but
I keep saying swimming pools. I guess a canal or a lake or the sea would also...
Or a pond.
Yeah. But if it's a party, that was the point. If it's someone's party and it's outdoors and they have a swimming pool, we can totally line it all up.
We'll get that figured out. No worries. We'll be at this birthday party.
In jelly.
Okay. Cool. So I would say time to wrap up.
Yeah. Sounds good. Listeners to Test from the Future, please send an email to microlasagna5@gmail.com. Put the number 202 into the subject so that we know this episode successfully went back in time. And if you have any questions or birthday requests, please put those in your emails too.
All right. Then thanks for listening, and see you in 200 years.
Yep. Bye-bye.